Hi, my name's Chris. I'm a psychotherapist, yoga instructor and wellness retreat owner here in Australia. And I put together these videos to give you an idea of the sort of things that we do at Rolling Hills Retreat for our retreats. I'm very big on trying to fuse mental health strategies with yoga because they can complement each other really, really well. Today's session is going to be more of a gentle yoga session. Although in saying that, please feel free to add in anything that you wish, modify, rest in child's pose even more if you're finding it a little bit tough. Do whatever works best for you in this session. The mental health theme that I'm going to be talking about is something called the Harving Principle, and it's something that I use when working with clients who might be struggling with anxiety or depression and struggling to get themselves out of bed. So a lot of the time when we are struggling with anxiety or depression, sometimes we don't want to leave the bed or leave the house or hide under the covers or cancel things, don't want to go into work, don't want to meet up with friends, doing all the things that we normally would do that would help give us that momentum and or maybe joy. And it can feel really, really heavy at times. And what sometimes happens is that we fight against that and we beat ourselves up and we feel worse because we are shaming ourselves and feeling guilty for the fact that we're feeling in this dark place. So something that can be useful is actually acknowledging and accepting and allowing those feelings to come in. So rather than trying to push them to the side, actually saying to yourself, right, okay, today's not a good day. I'm not going to be feeling my best. So, okay, let me sit with those feelings and kind of see what's coming up, but not wallow in them. And they're not going to, and say to yourself that they're not going to last forever. So it might be something like today is okay, I'm writing today off, that's okay. But tomorrow, if I'm still feeling that anxiety or depression is there and it's quite heavy and quite intense, then I'm going to try and halve the amount of time that maybe you stay in bed, or half the amount of time that you stay in the flat or house or wherever it is that you live. So being able to halve it each time helps to acknowledge the fact that you are feeling those feelings and that they're real and that they're coming up, but that you're making plans to try and make it less intense. So again, the next day it might be that, the day after that, you might say to yourself, I'm going to halve it again, the amount of time. And doing something and getting up and creating that momentum for you could be simply just moving out of that bedroom, or going for a walk, or having a cold shower, or doing some exercise, or phoning a friend. So what you're telling yourself is, you're saying, okay, I'm feeling these feelings, but I'm not going to allow them to take over for the whole time. And the next day, if they're still there, you're halving them again. Next day, halving them again, halving them again. And the idea is that it should hopefully start to make it feel a little bit lighter. So that's just one of the things that I wanted to talk about at the beginning of this session. And I want to remind you throughout the session as well about that you can get through this, and it's about allowing it to pass and just trying to lessen that intensity each time. Okay, let's get started into our yoga session today. So if you find yourself sitting comfortably wherever you are, legs can be crossed, I invite you to close your eyes down, checking in with your breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Placing your left hand on your heart, right hand on your stomach as you inhale into your stomach. Inhale into your chest. And exhale, chest deflates and then the stomach. Really feeling your stomach and your chest, breathing and pushing into your hand. Inhale into the stomach. Into the chest. And exhale, chest comes down first, followed by the stomach. Inhale into the stomach. Chest. And exhale. Maybe noticing some of the sounds as you inhale that are around you. And exhale. As you inhale, maybe you can feel the air coming in through your nose. Maybe it's cool. And as you exhale, Releasing through the nose, maybe that air is warmed up ever so slightly. One more inhale. And exhale. And then slowly opening your eyes, bringing your hands down, maybe to rest on your knees, palms open or palms closed. Maybe setting yourself an intention for today's practice. Maybe there's something you want to work on, or let go of, or let in. Maybe there's something you're struggling with in your life at the moment. You want to send some love to yourself or to someone else. Take a nice big inhale with your intention. And a sigh through the mouth. Okay, let's begin as we inhale our arms up to the sky. Bringing your left hand behind you, placing palm down, bringing your right hand to your left knee. Inhale your chest and heart proud, and exhale, just gently twist to the left, maybe looking over your left shoulder. With every inhale, you maybe raise your head and your chest a little bit more, and as you exhale, twist a little bit more to the left. Remembering that breath into the stomach. And exhale, twist. On your next inhale, slowly coming around, maybe inhaling arms up to the sky. And exhale down to the other side, bringing the right hand behind you, palm down to the mat. Inhale, heart and chest proud. Exhale, twist. From your left hand to your right. Your drishti, your gaze, maybe looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, pit of the stomach. Exhale, twist. One more inhale. And exhale. And then next inhale, slowly coming around, back to center. Inhale, your hands behind you into a fist. Chest nice and proud. And as you exhale, bring those fists to your left lower hips. Opening up that chest. Inhale nice and deeply. Aiming to have your elbows trying to touch each other, which is very unlikely, but that's what we're kind of aiming for to help open the chest. One more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, bring those fists together, opening up that chest, reaching those fists backwards as far as they can, and on the exhale, bringing them down to the other side to rest the right hand side of your hips. As you inhale, maybe opening that chest a little bit more, and exhale. Notice where your breath is going as you inhale. Is it staying in your chest, or is it going all the way down to your stomach? Letting in, and one more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, slowly take those hands away, bring your hands back to your knees. Coming into a tabletop position here. So bringing your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. And we're going to start off by going into extended puppy here. So where you'll keep your hips over your knees, and you're just going to start walking your hands forward. As far forward as you can, and then bringing your chest down towards the mat. Maybe your chin comes onto the mat, maybe your forehead, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Notice with the exhale, you maybe sink a little bit closer to the mat. Nice, big inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then slowly coming back up to tabletop position. Bringing hands underneath your shoulders. Hips above knees. Let's come into tabletop with our left leg out. So with this, I'd like you to bring your left leg out to the side. But I'd like you to make sure that you're placing a little bit of pressure on your pinky toe side of your foot. This might be where you stay, that's absolutely fine. Turning on the legs, turning on the glutes. Some of you might like to, on your exhale, start to fold forward, bringing those hands forward. And again, aiming to maybe bring your forehead down to the mat, possibly your chin. Whatever feels more comfortable for you. Remembering to breathe in and out through the nose. Our breath is our prana, our life force, our energy. It's what keeps us going. It's what helps us calm ourselves down when anxiety is coming to visit. Tune into your breath. Tune into your body. Get to know what works for your body, and more importantly, what doesn't work for your body. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly coming back up to a tabletop position. Excellent. Let's do the same on the other side. So inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, bringing your other foot out to the side. Pinky toe side, pressure. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to walk those hands forward. Maybe bringing the forehead down to the mat. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Feel that breath, that stagnant air leaving your nose, leaving your body. On your next inhale, slowly coming back up to a tabletop position. Let's just do a quick round of cat-cow. I think it's always good to help get the body moving this way, connecting breath with movement. As you inhale, coming into cow, so you push your stomach down, you pull your chest up and through your hands. Maybe your gaze looks up to the sky. And as you exhale, pulling that navel in towards the spine to come into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. One more time, inhale into cow. I'm actually looking at some of the cows as I do this right now, which makes me smile. Exhale into cat. And then coming back into a tabletop position. We're going to come into our downward facing dog. We don't have many of these to do in today's session, but if we're coming up into our downward dog, making sure that our hands are splayed nice and wide on the mat. And as you inhale, you start to come up and bending into like a V shape, and just start walking out your feet. Feet are hip distance apart. Your elbows are coming in towards the midline of the body rather than splaying out to the sides. Your arms should be in line with your ears, and your drishti, your gaze, is looking in between your feet. Maybe coming up onto the tippy toes. Maybe hear a nice crack. We always like to do that first thing in the morning. And remember to breathe. Maybe imagining that this is you trying to get yourself moving and get yourself getting some momentum to get out of bed. If that anxiety or depression is feeling a little bit strong on a particular day, start getting that movement. Start creating that flow around the body. And then whenever you're ready, slowly walking your feet towards the top of the mat, taking your time. And then when you get to the top of your mat, just hanging in ragdoll. Maybe bringing our hands to either elbow. Maybe a little rock left to right, right to left. And then just let it all go, let the hands hang down. And slowly coming up vertebrae by vertebrae. With your neck and shoulders in the last to come up. Maybe a nice little roll one way. And then the other. Beautiful. Okay, bringing your big toes touching, soles of the feet slightly apart at the top of your mat. Let's inhale our arms up to the sky, sun salutation. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to a plank position, push-up position, and as you're exhaling, you bring your knees, and then your chest, and then your chin down to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, baby cobra, slight bend in the back. Exhale, down to the mat. One more time. Inhale, baby cobra. As you exhale, come down to the mat, come through tabletop position, and then coming into our downward facing dog. Let's inhale our right foot to the sky. Exhale, right foot comes in between the hands, and our left knee comes down to the mat. Maybe inhale your arms up into a low lunge. As you exhale, you might be able to sink a little bit deeper into that hip. Nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And as you're exhaling, slowly bringing those hands to frame the front foot. Inhale, right foot comes back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's do the same on the other side. Inhale, left foot high to the sky. Exhale, left foot comes in between the hands. Right knee comes down into a low lunge position. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Arms either side of your ears. And as you exhale, maybe sink and fall a little bit closer to the mat. Just your gaze is looking out in front of you, focusing on something that you can see in front, or a point on the wall. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly bringing your hands down to frame that front foot. Right foot steps to meet left. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva arms to the sky. And exhale, hands through heart center, mountain pose. Inhale, arms to the sky, Urdhva. Maybe taking your gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to plank. Either do knees, chest, chin again, or come down through a push-up into Chaturanga Dandasana, almost touching the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Check out your downward dog. Are your hands splayed nice and wide? Elbows in towards the midline of the body. Feet hip distance apart. A nice way to get into this pose is to bend your knees, stick your bottom into the air, and then try to place your heels down to the mat. Your heels might not make the mat, that's absolutely fine. Whatever works for you today. Let's inhale, right foot to the sky. Exhale, right foot comes in between the hands. Inhale, high lunge. As you exhale, you'll notice you can sink down closer to that mat. As you inhale, make sure your hands are nice and splayed, nice and reaching the sky. Your drishti, your gaze, is looking at something ahead of you rather than looking down. One more inhale. And exhale. Bringing hands to frame the top of the mat. Right foot steps back to downward facing. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Exhale, left foot comes in between the hands. Inhale, high lunge on the other side. Again, nice strong back leg turned on. Your front knee is tracking over your front heel. Inhale. Exhale, maybe sink a little bit deeper. One more nice big inhale. And exhale. Bringing hands down to frame the front of the mat. On your next inhale, bring your right foot to meet your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands down through prayer. Coming to standing mountain pose here. Hands splayed down either side of your body. Chest nice and proud, shoulders up, back and down. Tailbone turned on. And just breathe, let it all go. Let's inhale our arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot to the sky. Exhale, right foot comes in between the hands. Left knee comes down. I'm going to come into half monkey here, half hammer. I'm just going to play about with this a little bit. So it's like half splits. That doesn't sound as daunting as splits. As you exhale, I want you to kind of send your body back and then try and straighten that right leg. Flexing those right toes back towards the shin. Your hands can be on your fingertips, almost like spiders. Inhale, coming forward, over the knee. Left hip kind of comes closer to the mat. And then exhale, coming backwards again into that half splits, half monkey. Straightening that right leg, sending the bottom back towards the back of the mat. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, coming back. One more time. Inhale, coming forward. Heart and chest proud. And exhale, coming back again into half monkey. I'm going to stay here for several breaths, seeing how much we can straighten that right leg, flexing those toes back. Every inhale, create new energy, and every exhale, maybe you can come back a little bit deeper. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly coming up. Hands come back to the top of the mat. Right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Walking out your dog here. And then come into stillness. As we prepare to do the same on the other side. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Exhale, left foot comes in between the hands. Right knee comes down to the mat. And coming into half monkey on the other side. Coming backwards. Straightening that left leg. Flexing those left toes back towards the left shin. Hands up on your fingers. And your drishti, your gaze is maybe looking maybe 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters in front of the top of your mat. On your next inhale, coming forward, leading with your heart. Exhale, coming back into half. Inhale, coming forward. Nice little rock. Create that momentum, create that flow. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, coming forward. Think about Harving Principle. Think about how much you want it to stay with you. And exhale, coming back. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Honoring if you're feeling anything. Reminding yourself it won't last forever. Give yourself some space, some time to heal. And then know that getting your body moving, phoning a friend, doing something that's good for you, can just help that light, that heaviness turn to lightness over time. Keep halving that amount of time that you're there, to the point where it feels like it's no longer there. Always very relaxed. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And your next inhale, slowly coming forward. Hands come to the top of the mat. Left foot steps back to downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa here if you wish. You can come with me if you like, or stay in downward dog. Inhale, coming to high plank. Exhale down for chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming down into child's pose here, bringing the knees as wide as the mat, big toes touching, and then reaching out your hands, maybe bringing your forehead down to the mat, coming into a resting pose here. Breathing in that new fresh air and exhaling any stagnant energy. Know that you can come to child's pose at any time. One more inhale. And exhale. And your next inhale, slowly coming back up to downward facing dog. Now you can either walk towards the top of the mat, or if you wish, you can bend your knees, look forward, look in between your hands, and exhale and lightly jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale through heart center. Beautiful. Want us to come into a wide-legged stance here now. So bringing your feet out nice and wide on your mat, and toes can turn ever so slightly in towards the center. We're going to come into Skandasana here, which is a one-legged squat. We won't be here for too long. But what I'd like you to do is as you exhale, I'd like you to come down, and I'd like you to straighten your left leg. So you're going to bend your right knee. It's almost like a one-legged squat. So it looks like this. Maybe bringing hands into prayer. You might want to use your right elbow to push against your right kneecap, opening up the chest, straightening that left leg. Maybe trying to bring it down a little bit closer to the mat. And as you inhale, coming up, swap over to the other side, straightening that right leg, bending that left knee. Memory to breathe. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. On your next inhale, coming up, exhale, Skandasana on the other side. Maybe you can get a little bit deeper this time. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, down to the other side. Beautiful. One more time on each side. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, coming down. Beautiful. On your next inhale, slowly coming up. Inhale those arms up to the sky. Exhale to heart center and start zigzagging, wiggling your feet in back towards the center. Beautiful. Coming to the top of our mats. Let's start in mountain pose. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step or jump back. Go for a vinyasa if you wish, or downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale your right foot to the sky. And exhale, opening up your hips, so bringing your right knee up towards the sky and looking underneath your left armpit. Maybe you can see your right foot flexing back towards your toes, flexing back towards your shin. Straightening that left leg. Remembering to breathe. This might be where you stay. Some of you might want to bring it into wild thing. If you're bringing it into wild thing, you turn your body over to bring your right foot down to the mat. And then inhale, your hips up to the sky. Maybe bringing your right arm up, back and over. Looking up towards the sky. Strengthening that left arm and hand. Opening up your hips. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. On your next inhale, coming back up to three-legged dog. And exhale, right foot comes down to meet left. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Walking out your dog. Let's do the same on the other side. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Exhale, opening up that hip. Looking underneath your right armpit. Flexing those left toes back towards your shin. This might be where you stay. Some of you might like them to come into wild thing. Turning over, raising those hips nice and high to the sky. One more inhale here. And exhale. On your next inhale, slowly spinning back round, really carefully to three-legged dog. And exhale, left foot comes back down to downward facing dog. Come into child's pose here, or stay in downward facing dog. Maybe go through a vinyasa if you wish. Up to you, your choice, your practice. And from your downward facing dog or child's pose, whichever you're in, I'd like you to come down, face down to lie on your mat. So belly down onto the mat. Just rest here just for a moment, bringing your right ear to your mat. Palms facing up. Maybe a little bit of a rock. Left to right, right to left. We're going to prepare ourselves for Locust Pose, which we're going to do twice. And on the second time, you can either do Locust again, or you can come into bow. If you're coming into Locust Pose now, I want you to make your legs nice and straight, toes together, toes pointing backwards. Bringing your chin to the mat, and your palms now facing down, even alongside your body. And normally we move on the exhale, but with this pose, we actually move on the inhale so that we can puff some air into our stomach. So on the inhale, I'd like you to lift your legs ever so slightly. And then maybe your hands come off the mat. Maybe your chin, but keep looking down, don't look forward. Notice how maybe with every breath, you can raise it a little bit higher with the legs. You can reach back a little bit further with the hands. You can maybe lift your chest a little bit higher. One more inhale. Exhale, coming down, bringing your left ear to the mat. Maybe rocking your hips left to right, right to left. And then we're either going to come into the same as what we've just done, that Locust Pose, or if we're coming into bow pose, you want to grab your ankles with your hands. So you're lifting your legs up, and then grabbing your left ankle with your left hand, right ankle with your right hand. Bringing the knees together as much as possible. And again, we move on that inhale, so we use the inhale to puff into our stomach. A great way to check if our breathing is going down into our stomach. And then we kick back with our feet into our hands to help us create momentum to move up. So when you're ready on the inhale, start kicking back, lifting up. Maybe your chest raises above the mat. Kicking your feet into your hands, opening up your chest. You can start to bring your gaze slightly up if you wish. It's okay to rock. One more inhale. And exhale, resting all the way down. Bringing your right ear to the mat. And just moving your hips left to right. Right to left. And whenever you're ready, coming up into a tabletop position. We're going to come into what we call frog. Okay, so I'm going to turn to face you. And what I want you to do is, excuse me, sorry, is I'd like you to open up your knees as far as they can go, but bringing your lower part of your legs in line with the mat, so they're parallel to the front and the back of the mat. If you notice here, I've moved my leg out that way so that it can be in line with that mat. I need to do the same on this side, which is there. I then might be able to bring my knees out a little bit further. There you go. And this might be where you stay. Some of you, whilst keeping your hips in line with your knees, you might want to start walking those hands forward. Maybe bringing your forehead or your chest down to the mat. Remembering to breathe. Really great for opening up the hips. The hips can be where we hold a lot of trauma. So be kind to yourself in this pose. If anything comes up for you, acknowledge it. Maybe journal about it after this session. What feelings come up for you? And always remember, talking things out with a professional can be really beneficial to help you learn to cope with whatever it is that comes up for you. Life can be really difficult at times. And sometimes we don't want to reach out for maybe fear, shame, or feeling as though we don't actually have an issue with our mental health. A lot of people say, Chris, I can't be depressed or anxious, I've got a good life. But anxiety or depression can come and visit any of us at any time. So please remember to reach out. One more inhale. Stay for that exhale. And when you're ready, very slowly, very slightly, coming out. Maybe bringing your feet back towards each other to help. Slowly coming up. And then bringing one knee in, and then the other, and then just stop bringing them in. Beautiful. You're going to come into hero pose here. You have a Virasana, so you have an option here to come into reclined hero if you wish. So coming into hero, we bring our knees together and our feet come out wide so that our bottom can sit nicely in between. So you'll notice we're resting on the top parts of our feet here, so that's a nice stretch for those there. And then you can bring your hands onto your knees for a very, very slight pull. Heart proud, chest proud, head proud. Just your gaze looking out in front of you. Some of you might need to bring your feet even wider than around your hips, whatever works best for you. And staying here. Some of you might want to come into reclined hero. If you're doing that, come back and rest on your hands. Again, this might be where you stay today. Some of you might be able to come down onto one elbow and then the other. Notice if you have any sensations in your body which feel painful. If they are, back off. Some of you might like to come all the way down. Be very conscious of the lower part of your back. So maybe kind of tilting your hips up your tailbone ever so slightly. And maybe taking hold of either elbow. And exhale, letting it go. Easiness to relax and melt yourselves into the mat. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. If you're in reclined hero, bringing your elbows down, maybe using your hands to grab that ankle. Slowly coming up, bringing your hands behind you, and then coming back up again. And then from whichever pose or variation of the pose you're in, let's come into a counter pose of child's pose, knees as wide as the mat, feet together, stretching out that lower back, forehead maybe down to the mat. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly coming up. Coming to a start position. So sitting on our bottoms, legs out nice and wide. Not wide, sorry, it's just right out in front of you. So we're going to come into Janushirasana here. So bringing your right foot to come to your inner left thigh. You can then also move and turn your left leg out straight but at a slight angle. Okay, just ever so slightly. Some people quite like to do this. Otherwise you can keep it out in front. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. And exhale, folding over that straight leg. Either bringing hands to the lower part of your foot, of your shin, sorry. Maybe using your peace fingers to grab the toes. Or maybe bringing your hands all the way over the top part of your foot. Inhaling with your heart and chest rather than your head, and exhale, folding forward. Be mindful not to bend the neck just yet. Leading forward with that heart with every exhale. Coming maybe a little bit closer to that leg. Notice with every exhale, I'm getting a little bit closer. Maybe bringing my stomach to my thigh. And on your next exhale, you can just really fully fold forward down into that pose, bringing your neck down and your head if that's available to you and doesn't feel uncomfortable. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And on that inhale, slowly coming up. Bringing that right foot out in front. Left foot comes towards the inner thigh. Maybe turning the body ever so slightly to the right. Maybe a slight angle with that leg. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, folding over that front leg. Straight leg, reaching for either your ankle, your toes, or over the top of your feet. Inhale, heart and chest proud. Exhale, folding forward. Notice how we're starting to slow things down even more in our session today. Notice how the breath can maybe be a little bit longer on those inhales and a little bit longer on those exhales. On your next exhale, you can fold a little bit deeper, maybe bring that neck and head down. For every exhale, getting closer towards that leg. One more inhale. And exhale. And your next inhale, slowly coming up. Having to bring your feet out wide and coming to lie down on your back here. We're going to come into a reclined pigeon here, so figure 4 pose. Bringing your right ankle over your left knee, pushing out your right knee with your right hand ever so slightly. This might be where you stay. Some of you might want to bring your hands to wrap around your left knee. Hands coming underneath that right leg, flexing those toes, both of them back towards your shin. And as you exhale, pulling down with your knee to really open that right glute and stretch it out. As you exhale, just keep pulling ever so slightly further down. Whether you're choosing to do something really, really beneficial for your mind, body and soul. This can actually be a really nice pose if anxiety or depression is feeling like it's taking over and you're lying in bed and not wanting to get out of bed. Doing some poses like this, lying on your back, can just be that start of making you feel even 1% lighter. It's a mixture of feeling relaxed, but also doing some stretching for your body, which is really important. One more inhale. A little bit more on that exhale. And when you're ready, bringing left foot down to the mat. Right foot comes down. Knees come together, feet as wide as the mat. And just start windscreen wipering those feet, those knees, left to right, right to left. And whenever you're ready, let's do the same on the other side. So bringing your left foot, your left ankle over your right knee. Maybe pushing that left knee out with your left hand. Maybe bringing your hands around that right knee, flexing those toes back towards the shin. Maybe bringing your hands around your right knee, flexing those toes back towards your shin. Inhale. And exhale, maybe pulling down on that right knee to open up that left glute. Checking in with your breathing. Where are you sending that breath? Into your stomach or just your chest? Maybe opening up those shoulders ever so slightly as you exhale and pull down. Remember to consciously Send that breath to your stomach so that you can unconsciously create that good habit. Closing down the eyes here can be really good in this pose. Maybe even for the rest of our session today. This pose can be really good if you're struggling with anxiety or depression and struggling to leave the bed. It's slightly more productive than lying there trying to sleep. Trying to stop the thoughts, the negative thoughts. You put yourself into some of these yoga poses, even if you're in bed, and hopefully make you feel even 1% better than you were feeling before. More and more inhale. Maybe pull down a little bit more on that exhale. And then bringing your feet down to the mat. Knees coming together, feet as wide as the mat, maybe knocking out one way, and then the other. Windscreen wipering left to right, right to left. We're going to come into reclined cow face here, so coming into reclined cow face, bringing your left knee over your right knee, inhaling them up to like a tabletop position. Then bringing your hands to your lower part of your ankles, flexing those toes again back towards the shin, and as you exhale, pulling down on those ankles. Again, opening up those shoulders, opening up the chest. Breathing into your stomach. Again, be mindful of only breathing into our chest. If we're only breathing into our chest, it can really compromise our posture and our alignment and lead to back problems. And also panic attacks are things that come to visit you at times. You may notice that your breath becomes short and you stay up in your chest. We want to be trying to send that breath down to our stomachs, help calm us down, help remove any blockages so the air can travel through the body to all of the different places that it needs to go to. One more inhale. And stay for that exhale. And you're ready, unraveling those feet, placing the feet down. And then maybe bringing your knees up to give them a little hug. Maybe rocking left to right, right to left. Maybe making small circles one way. And then the other. And then let's do the same on the other side. Bringing your knee over, your other one, raising those knees up, using your hands to grab the ankles. Flex those toes back towards the shin. And then exhale, pulling down. Again, where are you sending your breath? And whilst you're here, I want you just to remind yourself of that Harving Principle. The idea behind it being, try not to beat yourself up. Any guilt or any shame if you're having a bad day. You're allowed to have a bad day. Sometimes it is surrendering to that day and saying to yourself, okay, today's a bad day, but tomorrow I'm going to try, hopefully not have it be as heavy for as long. And so the next day maybe it's you spent in bed, or not leaving the house, or not phoning a friend, or not doing some movement or exercise or yoga. And if it's still there the following day a little bit, say to yourself, halve it again. So maybe it's gone from 12 hours to 6 hours to 3 hours to 1 hour. And the hope and the aim is that over time you'll be able to find that momentum to be able to get yourselves up and do the things that we know that are good for us. Movement, connection to ourselves and to others, our community, having purpose. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And bringing your knees in for a hug. Maybe a little rock side to side. Maybe small circles. You have an opportunity to do whichever pose you'd like to do before we come into Shavasana. And whenever you're ready, coming to meet us in Shavasana, we're going to do just a very quick body scan. So in our Shavasana, feet can come as wide as the mat, hands several inches away from the body. Closing the eyes down if it's not already. And with our body scan, we're going to start with our feet and rise up to our head. As you inhale, I want you to imagine sending energy to your feet. Maybe you visualize white light. Maybe you can actually feel yourself sending your breath to those feet. And as you exhale, just release them. Maybe they open up to the sides a little bit more. On your next inhale, traveling up to your legs, and energy to your legs and breath there. And as you exhale, relax your legs. Feel yourself relax. On your next inhale, send energy and focus to your hips, to your glutes. And as you exhale, release them down to the ground. On your next inhale, your abs. Feel that stomach and those abs push out, and as you exhale, release them down to the mat. On your next inhale, send energy to your chest and the upper part of your back. And exhale, release. Inhale your arms and your hands. Feel that breath, that energy reach those points. And as you exhale, release your hands, your arms. Maybe they open up a little bit to the side. Your shoulders and your neck as you inhale, send energy there. And exhale, release them. Last one, our head. I want you to maybe imagine white light surrounding all of your head as you inhale. Maybe a smile if you can do that now. And then exhale, fully let go into Shavasana, our restorative pose. Really important pose. We'll be here for a couple of minutes. Enjoy. start to bring movement back into your body. Maybe wiggling toes, wiggling fingers. And then turning over onto whichever side falls to you today. Maybe using your hands or your biceps as a pillow. Keeping the eyes closed, slowly coming up to a seated position. Maybe bringing hands into prayer, or hands onto the knees, palms facing down to ground you, palms facing up for energy. Let's take a nice big inhale together on a sigh through the mouth. Maybe you've chosen something really beautiful for your mind, body and soul today. Remember to reach out if you're struggling. Remember to focus on bringing movement into your body, connection to yourself and to others, having something purposeful to do for your day, and not to beat yourself up if you're having a bad day or a bad couple of days. The light and life inside of me honors the light and life inside each and every one of you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in to this video. Please feel free to send me a message if you have any comments, feedbacks or requests. If you'd like to see more videos and more posts and more retreat dates, please follow us on Instagram at Rolling Hills Retreats, and take care of yourselves. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.